Welcome to MartialPreneur TV. It's me, Scott Patterson, and this week's special guest we have Zara Phythian. Now, Zara to me represents everything there is to do with martialpreneurship. You know, she's been a successful actress in film, television, music videos, motion capture. She's been a presenter, performer, fight choreographer. She's in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. She's been a world champion, and she's also a Guinness World Record holder and has a successful martial arts academy. So I really do think as a business person and a martial artist, there's a lot we can learn from Zara. She has a crazy work ethic, which has made it really difficult for our schedules to sync so that I could actually get the interview with her, but we finally did it. We had a few technical issues, and I just really hope that you guys watching get some inspiration from Zara, and if you have any questions, please do let us know, and hopefully we can have Zara back on for another show. But without further ado, let's go over and see what Zara has to say. Okay, welcome to MartialPreneur TV. We have our latest guest today for us. It's been a massive event trying to track each other down and get the right timings. But and we've also had a hell of a technical issue, so I apologise if everything cuts out and goes wrong today. But we have the beautiful Zara Phythian. How you doing, Zara?
Yeah. I'm good, thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me. And yeah, apologies for the massive delay and the technical errors. I don't know what's going on there.
We've just had a nightmare, haven't we? It's just been completely bonkers.
Yeah, but finally we're speaking, so this is good.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were just saying earlier, just keeping everything crossed, fingers, toes. Hope the internet gods smile on us now. All right.
Yeah, gonna hold out.
I mean, one of the things I was really desperate to talk to you about, really. I mean, for those of you who don't know about Zara, I think you're a perfect example of everything to do with martialpreneurship, as I like to call it, and sort of have a great career around all sorts of things to do with the martial arts industry. I mean, I can't not go anywhere and not see a picture of you in a magazine or like a show or an event or a martial arts film or a TV. So I just wanted to sort of wanted you to just let everyone know a little bit about your history, how you got started in martial arts, and sort of how you got into the sort of TV, film. I mean, you run your own martial arts schools as well. So much stuff. Just tell us how you do it. Where did it all start?
Well, I'm one of 4 girls, so I've got 3 sisters.
Okay.
And you know, I feel a bit sorry for my dad, really. But so when obviously we were all younger, he wanted to make sure we could all kind of look after ourselves and, you know, have, you know, a little bit of discipline and stuff like that. So the next sister down from me, my youngest sister, if that makes sense, we were quite close growing up together, and there's only a year difference between us. And when we were a lot younger, we were quite different, you know. So she was quite tomboyish and quite sort of adventurous, and I was quite reserved and quite shy. So first my dad took her along to this local karate class. Right. And I was like, yeah, can I go? And everyone was like, I don't think you're gonna like it, it's not quite for you, Zara. So, you know, and at that time, even though we got on great, if I was doing something, Zoe would want to do it, and if she was doing something, it didn't really bother me. I like to sort of give it a go. So she went along, and then eventually I was allowed to kind of go along as well. She quit, went on to other sports and stuff. All my sisters are quite sporty, and I stuck with the martial arts. And then when I got to sort of 14, wanted to try other stuff as well, and just sort of really was hooked from the first day, really. Right. So I've always been passionate about martial arts since then, and even at the age of 7, I was really taken, just by the whole martial concept and the way of life. And yeah, so since then it's been a really good journey for me. I've tried different martial arts and studied different martial arts and stuff, and yeah, love what I do. And when I was competing, so maybe 17, I think I was in the States, and was over at one of the US national title belt competitions, and at this particular competition there were some directors and producers, and they were judging. It was called Star Now, or it was basically a screen fighting event at this competition, which was really new to me. I didn't really have a clue what was going on, but it was good that I was there at the time, because then these directors and producers came over to me and said, "Oh, we love what you're doing. Would you like to come over and be part of our film?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'd love to." So I went over to the States for 6 weeks, and that was my first kind of acting. It wasn't even a martial art film. It was kind of a sci-fi film. So that was first sort of step into kind of the film industry, really, and that sort of side of it. And obviously since then I've done a lot more sort of varied roles and get to use the martial arts on screen and stuff too, and concentrate a lot more on acting now too. So yeah, it's all good.
So that initial thing from a tournament was the sort of stepping stone for you to get into the film side of things.
Yeah, I mean, so when I started, obviously, continued to train in different martial arts, and I think it was when I was 14, 15, started teaching as well at my instructor school, and already started to learn kind of the management kind of systems and stuff.
Right.
So that was a good experience for me at that age, and was also competing as well.
Yeah.
So when that happened, when I went over to the States, did the filming over there, was really nervous, but really loved it at the same time. Came back and I was like, do you know what? I really enjoyed that. I want to kind of find out what's going on in the UK, what UK martial artists and people like me, with the same passion, what can we do over here? And, started connecting with different people and find out that actually we've got a really big industry over here too. And we've got a lot of talent, and there's loads of people, making films and this kind of stuff. And it sort of grew from there, really.
Okay.
It was almost as though I sort of had two things going on. I was competing and training, and then this kind of filming and screenfighting was coming up alongside as well. So, at the point, maybe when I was sort of 20-ish, was still competing, I had to kind of make a decision and go, do you know what? I'm going to have to either compete at the top level still and keep the same intensity, or I'm going to have to choose the acting and screenfighting. And that's what I chose. So, retired from competing, and then continued on that path, really.
Well, that's great.
So that's how I got started.
That's how I started. So, how did that compare? How did the skills compare? From, like you said, you mentioned there, you learnt a bit of the business side as well, with like running schools and that kind of thing. How did that help you with the TV and screen side? What was the big sort of learning curve for you there?
You're breaking up a little bit there, Scott. I think
Sorry.
I kind of the gist of what you were saying there. So, how did my management and teaching experience help with the filming?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, into the film side.
I guess, I was obviously still at school, and then went on to college and stuff, but it gave me a lot of experience interacting with people and understanding about management and business itself, because the film industry is a business, so even you're an actor, but your business and your brand is yourself. You still have to, do your accounts, and you still got to do all of that kind of stuff. So the business management side was a big help, because I don't think there's anything better really than having hands-on experience, So even the teaching and stuff and interacting with people was great for me. Build confidence and relationships and rapport with people and stuff. So I think it was a big help for me.
No, brilliant. I mean, I sort of going back a little bit into that as well. Obviously, being a woman in the martial arts, it's quite a sort of guy-dominated industry, and also in business quite often could be that way. Have you found it difficult being a woman, or just do you think it has never bothered you?
Honestly, it's never bothered me really being a woman. I do get judged, and to be honest, the most sort of it's not really hassle, but I guess the most kind of hating I've had has been from guys. It's not actually been from women.
Really?
A lot of women that I speak to, are really supportive and, think it's great and inspirational.
Yeah.
So all of the sort of negative, kind of energy always comes from guys. So I don't know why that is. I don't know if they feel threatened by a woman kind of, doing what I'm doing or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get that. But I've kind of not ever let that be a negative and as a positive. Sometimes you get guys come into class and you already have a preconception about it's a woman taking my class, but then when they get kind of stuck in and they have a completely different mindset by the time they leave. So I think sometimes I have to just be me, and if people don't like that, then fair enough, and if people do, then that's great. But I just think whatever you're doing, whether you're male, female, young, old, whatever, you just got to believe in yourself and do what you want to do.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. That's great advice. I mean, I'm starting to hear that a lot from people who've succeeded in the martial arts and doing what they're doing. It's always the same story as, if you've got a passion or a dream, you want to follow it, and just go and do it. Don't wait for everyone to give you the green light.
Well, if you do, it's not going to happen, is it? You've got to there's nobody else that's going to kick you at the backside. You have to do it yourself. You have to be self-motivated. If you want to achieve anything in life, then you've got to go out there and get it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to come to you.
Exactly. I mean, you've had so many awards and different accolades and things that you've achieved that I've sort of researched on your background. That one that stood out to me that's really interesting was the Guinness World Record. You tell us a bit more about that. How did that happen? Why did you come up? How did that happen? It was chocolate American footballs, was it?
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
I love the way Zara as well just says, "Oh, that one," that other record, yeah.
Well, no, it's because I did two, so I wasn't sure which one you were talking about. But I think most people saw that one first. So yeah, the production company that were doing that for Sky TV got in contact with me and. Through my website and through my agent and stuff, and was like, we've got some cool ideas for the new Guinness World Records show. Would you be interested? And we kind of had a chat really, and then sort of bounced some ideas back and forwards. And when we actually did the show, it was kind of near Easter. So, right. the production coordinator was like, something to do with kind of chocolate or Easter eggs, and you can be smashing it. And we were kind of going back and forth with different ideas, and then eventually we sort of laid out the idea and the concept, and it was pretty weird and strange, but really good at the same time. So that's the sort of one that everyone goes, oh, I saw you kicking the chocolate eggs. But each one of those sort of chocolate rugby balls or American footballs, it's not rugby ball, sorry. I think they cost like £40 each. So
really, so that. Shit, so that was loads of money on chocolate there then.
I know, but the thing is, we had to do we did a few rehearsals, one rehearsal with and one rehearsal without, and then we actually did the actual thing. So yeah,
okay, cool.
Wasted a little bit of money there, but but no, that was a really good experience. And then the other one I did from doing that Guinness World Record, I went over to India and did highest female jumping kick, martial art kick. Okay. I did that record, and then the year after went to China and then broke the same record. Oh, okay. So I did that one twice. Hey. But so the chocolate ball one was the most items kicked off people's heads in a minute. Yeah, and it was that long ago. I don't even remember what the record was, to be honest.
Well, you were going for it, and it looked good anyway. It was great. I was like, it was just a random concept. So I was like, who came up with the idea? Yeah.
Yeah, it was back and forth a little bit, just sort of locking the concept down and stuff. But yeah, it was totally back and forth. Sure. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I don't know if you could tell that by watching the show, because in the rehearsal beforehand, I'd done a lot more.
Oh, right.
So when it was the actual thing, I was like, oh my God, it's just so short of what I did, and it's just quite frustrating. But it was good fun all the same.
Cool, you still did it, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I found another martial artist I'd met in a few months ago was Jason David Frank from he's from the Power Rangers. He was the Green Ranger, and I was lucky enough to train with him and meet him at Master Toddy's Muay Thai Academy in Thailand, and he actually just recently did a Guinness World Record, which was breaking boards, but he did it skydiving.
Oh,
so
wicked.
he jumped out of a plane, and the most amount of boards broke skydiving. So, it's getting more and more crazy with martial arts records.
Yeah,
but it's cool. Did that have any positive effect on sort of promotion and stuff? Did people approach you more? For
with business, definitely.
Business wise,
and anything like that. Even working on any kind of film or commercial or whatever. It's great for me in my sort of acting career, but it's great for my business too.
Sure.
Because I run 2 martial arts schools, so the kids absolutely love it. The students that I teach, Miss Zara's on TV, and I saw you, and and then they go and tell their friends at school, and for example, I'll go to my stepdaughter's school, and they all know that I've done the Guinness World Record on TV, and they get to watch it in class and stuff. Like, okay, so it's really cool for the kids, and it's great for business, great for promotional stuff. And
so I think it's good, isn't it? I mean, I don't know your thoughts on promotion and things, and maybe I was going to ask you, relating to your school side of things. I know a lot of people who watch MartialPreneur TV will have a school or will be teaching. Just sort of your advice on what you give them to promote, or what you would give advice to someone's just starting out running a school, or what would be your top tips?
To establish what the message is you want to get across, and the audience that you're targeting, really. So I have 2 schools, so my marketing for each school is different, because one school is just for kids. So the marketing is geared around that age, the age group from 4 to 12, and we're aiming at parents. Whereas the Adults Academy is obviously aimed at teens and adults. So the marketing and the images that you use and stuff, my images and stuff that I use are different because I'm targeting 2 different types of groups. I know a lot of schools are one school and they teach kids and adults, or they'll just do one or the other. So I've always found with the advertising that to just do a general, sort of generic martial art advertising has been okay. But when I've done the separate sort of marketing and targeting different audiences, has worked much better for me.
I think it's like, it's like if someone calls out something in a room, is it? If they just say, if you just address everyone in a message, like in your marketing, it sort of, it doesn't reach quite, it's not as powerful as if, say, you said, I want to speak to guys who are over 25 with brown hair, there's suddenly, if that's you, you're like, your ears prick up, and you listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. So that has always worked better for me. And I've got a great marketing team. My partner's is, he's great at that stuff. He's really creative and helps me with that. So that's a great, benefit for me. But yeah, aiming at the right target audience and getting the right message out there. Branding is very important as well. So I think you just got to get your brand down, get your logo, get all that kind of stuff sorted out, and stick with it. And build a reputation, build the brands, and be professional in everything that you do. If you're putting something out there that isn't maybe quite up to standard, and it's whatever, then that will affect your brand. People see things and make judgments straight away. So if you're trying to attract people to your school or your business or whatever, and then you've got kind of a bit of a shabby kind of poster or something like this, then it's going to put people off. So just make sure that everything you do and the way that you act and all that kind of stuff is all professional and all linked in with your brand. So even things like a lot of advertising right now is on Facebook, isn't it? Social media and stuff. So even the way that you present yourself on Facebook and your statuses and updating stuff, if you're swearing on there or you've got bad language and whatever, it gives people the wrong impression. So
absolutely,
everything that you do has got to be professional.
I think it's quite often. I think with some people, with their personal and business get mixed too much, especially with social media. That they try and put everything in the one place, and I don't think it's always that's a great idea. It's like you say, I've
even separated the sort of social media on my acting side and the martial arts side, because even that gets a little bit crossed over. A bit
muddled, because people do draw assumptions. I know with martial arts, if they're, like you say, with the acting side, you get people who draw assumptions about martial arts who don't know anything about it, and that could, like you say, must affect work that you may otherwise have got through them not knowing about it.
Yeah, but also it is 2 different industries. So if I'm kind of talking to a film producer or director, and then my students are asking me questions on my Facebook, it's a bit sort of conflicting, really. So I try and keep the martial arts side separate now from, the acting side, because it is different. It is two sort of entities, really. So So I guess the best advice would be to be professional and get a brand, work your brands.
Cool.
Yeah.
Keep it all tied together. And just
exactly.
what I was going to ask you is, what are you working on at the moment? What's the latest projects?
How long have you got?
I'm just going to say as well, I think you've probably got the most crazy work ethic. I think that's probably one of the keys to your success is, you're doing so much, you're so present in all different areas and working all the time on lots of different things.
I don't know where to start. I guess there's different film projects that I'm going to be working on, especially later on this year. There's 3 or 4 different films, so that's really great. So that side's kind of taking care of itself, and I'm going for auditions, getting film roles and stuff. So that's great, and working on the acting stuff. But I guess with the martial arts side, I did a training course actually a couple of days ago, and a good analogy was, if you remember when you first kind of go into your dojo, if you imagine just standing on one mat or one section, okay, and that's kind of your martial art world, and then you sort of go through your training, and then you get to 2 mats now. So if you look at sort of the dojo mats on the floor, and now you sort of got 2 mats, and that's your martial art world. But if you look at a big dojo, you've got 50, 60, 100 mats, whatever. That's the sort of entity that you're trying to achieve and trying to work towards. So you start in this one little area, and then you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I guess with the martial arts, that's what I'm trying to do as well, or with anything that I try and do. Start off in the place that I
comfort.
begin and then try and expand and try and grow. So sort of take that philosophy really into the acting, into my business, into my martial art training. With my two businesses, then I'm really developing my kids program at the moment. The Sil Hok Do is specifically just for kids. So I kind of got the system in place and it's working really well. So the idea of that is to just have a martial arts system just for kids.
Right.
You know, a lot of schools and a lot of martial arts, especially when I was younger as well, you know, you go into a martial art class and the kids are learning exactly the same thing as the adults, you know, or vice versa and stuff. But so that's something I'm really kind of working on at the minute, because if you take our educational system, for example, you know, you wouldn't expect an 8-9-year-old child to be doing the same work as, you know, an adult, a teen at college or university. It's completely different. So
Absolutely.
the learning sort of curve is different, the way they pick up things and stuff like that. So I sort of took that concept into the martial arts teaching and go, okay, well, how are these kids going to learn and develop, and what is it that I want to teach the kids? Great, they want to learn how to kick and punch and stuff, but martial arts is more than that, you know. So really been developing that curriculum and that aspect of it, and making it age specific just for kids. You know, some schools already kind of have the age specific sort of concept, and you know, are teaching character development and life skills, but my curriculum is all kind of combined and it's all kind of integrated. So working on that franchise. At my adults academy, working on growing the school and the gym, and just trying to sort of empower as many people as possible and get them to kind of study martial arts and stuff. And yeah, so just trying to grow and get as much done as I can, and just I think another good thing, you know, I think, is to surround yourself with positive people.
Sure.
If you get consumed with negative people or bad things that are going on, it brings you down, it brings your work ethic down, it brings your confidence levels down and your belief, and you don't get things done. And you know, you can have dreams and goals, but you'll be like, oh, I wish I could do that. But you know, if you surround yourself with positive people, you're going to have that positive energy and give yourself the kick up the backside you need and go out and get it and do it. So that's really important, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's
sorry, I'm talking too much.
I think there was a study a while back, or it might even just be just a well-known saying, but it was you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with most. You know, so you know what those close core 5 people that you spend most of your time with. You know, you are pretty much the average of them. So you have to take a good look sometimes at who you associate with, and take a good look at that.
No, I really believe in that too. I think that's really important, you know. For not just for martial arts, it's just for anyone, general, any sort of aspect of life, you know, or any work.
Well, so. I think that's the biggest part of what we do, you know, as martial artists. I think is getting that is our skills and our knowledge and sort of working our bodies and minds. It does spill over into everyday life, doesn't it? And it doesn't have to just be applied to beating people up.
Yeah, because that's not just what we do, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, as everyone thinks, you just go around beating people up.
It's funny how people have that conception, isn't it? You know, they just think, oh, I don't want to have a fight with you then. But, okay, well, it's more than that. Have you got an hour? Let me try and explain what martial arts is about. But
exactly.
It's funny sometimes.
That's cool. So where can people find out more about you, Zara, and just online, what website or...
Yeah, sure. So I've got my personal website, zaraphythian.co.uk, if you can spell my name.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw Phythian, is Phythian, isn't it?
Yeah, so ZARAPHYTHIAN. So I get all sorts of different pronunciations and spellings.
Where does that come from? Where's the name originate from?
It's an old English name.
Really?
Yeah. See, when we were younger, I was like, we never sort of really... sort of looked into it too much, and one of my uncles did like a family tree and did loads of research on it and stuff. It's actually an old English name. A lot of people think it's Greek,
but it's English.
But it's an English name. Yeah, it's English.
Cool.
I've got a little sort of script thing, and it's got the meaning of the name and stuff. Don't ask me what it is. I won't be able to tell you. I've got this little sort of scroll with all the the definition and the meaning. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Cool. So yeah, zaraphythian.co.uk.
Yep.
And then also my academy website is personalbestacademy.com.
Right.
And I'm also on Facebook and Twitter at Zara Phythian. And so it depends. So from the MartialPreneurs out there, I guess it's Sensei Zara Phythian. And then for, fellow actors and directors and stuff, it's Zara Phythian Actress.
Okay, cool. So would you be able to give anyone advice if anyone has any questions on the show about getting into the acting world? Would you be cool if I connected you up with anyone who's interested, or maybe even looking for someone like yourself in their roles?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can contact me directly through my website. That will go through to my management agency, and they'll pass it on to me, and I'll definitely get back in touch. Yeah, or also if they want to connect with you, contact you, then you can pass any info on to me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem.
Happy to give what advice I can.
Hey, brilliant. Hey,
Sure.
Zara, thank you. I know your time's really short, and you're so busy, and I just really appreciate you just taking the time out and just to introduce yourself and let everyone know what you've been doing. So it's great. So yeah, definitely.
Just want to say thank you to you for having me on as well, and keep up the good work. And I love what you're doing. Well
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Thanks, Zara. We made it. It didn't cut out. So, woo!